we created two classes. Let us call one class as let us call one class as class A. Class A. The class A was referred as super class. So what we did means mm, inheritance can be used to create the relationship between two classes. To use the few features of one of the class called super class, we can use this concept. So what I did in the previous session was, um, one second, I'll just connect this digital pad. It's already connected. Okay. Hmm. So what I did was I just created two classes. One class I called it as, so I created two class where one class I called it as a class A, and one more class as class B. So there were two classes. I wanted to create an inheritance relationship between these two classes. For that, I was using the keyword called extends. Extends this class name. Extends this class name. Then, then after this, now these two classes are related. Here, this we will call it as the super class. Super class. Class B, which is taking the features of class A, we will call it as the subclass. Subclass. So these are some of the basics. So class A, class B. So class B is inheriting the features of class A by using this keyword called extends. So the syntax would be class, subclass, extends, superclass. Here class A is called as a superclass, class B is called as a subclass. So after this, what it is happening means, if there are two variables called A and B, so those variables are available to this class B also. Even B can use the variables A and B. If there is a function called add function, if there is a function called add, if there is a function called subtract, so simple examples. So these two functions are available in B class also, meaning the B class can use the variables and functions of A class. In our example, it can use the variables A and B and the functions add and subtract. So, in addition to the functionalities of A class, B can have its own variables. The class B can have its own variables, its own functions, multiply, division. So now we have two things. Class A given by functions add and subtract, variable A and B. Class B, we have functions like multiplication, division, and it is having the variables C and D. Class B object can access add function, subtract function, variable A, variable B. In addition to these features, class B is having its own functions and variables on which it can operate. It has its own variables C and D, and it has its own functions, multiplication and division. So the subclass, in addition to the features of superclass, it can have its own functionalities, or it can have its own additional features or additional functionalities. So this is how we are using the relationship. For example, inside the main function, so inside the public static void main, inside the main function. So I'll create one class called demo. So inside this class called demo, I'll create the main function. I'll create the main function. So inside the main function now, if I create an object of B is equal to new B. So if I create the object of class B, how to create the object? See here, I will write it here because of some space constraints. So now I'll create the object of class B. B is equal to new B. So now this object B is able to access add function, subtract function, multiplication function, division function, because this is an object of class B and class B can access its own functions, multiplication and division, and the functions of addition and subtraction. But if I create an object of class A is equal to new syntax. This is syntax. Now here A is the object which belongs to class A, but A can access only its own functions. A can access only the add function and subtract function. The superclass can access the superclass members. It cannot access the subclass members, but whereas the subclass can access its own members and also the superclass members. So that is what I just wanted to tell. For example, for example, uh, for example, I will make this variable a and b as private. So if I make this variable a and b as private, then this variable a and b is not available for b class. So if I make a variable as private, then those variables will not be available for the subclasses. It can be accessed only within the class. Hence, the variable I will call this as a1. I will call this object as a1. Hence, only a class object and only the a class object a1 can access the variables a and b. The B class object, I'll call this as B1 because already I've used the name A and B. So here the B class object B1 cannot use variable A and B that are there in private class because the variable A and B that are there in class A, which is being made private. Because it is being made private, these variables will not be available in subclasses, even though there is an inheritance relationship. Even though the class A and B are related, the private members of superclass will not be available to subclasses. Only those members of superclass can access them. Here add function and subtract function can access these variables, but the class or the members of B cannot access the private variable. So this point you should keep in mind. So this is the basics of inheritance. So in the last class also we had discussed the same concept with an example. So I'm just revising that. So you can check in the program also. So see here, if I make this, if I remove this keyword, called private, access modifier called private, class A contains two variables I and j, and it contains display function. So class A contains variable I and j and display function, and class B contains variable k and some function called dispk. So now, and one more function called sum function. So now the object of class B, can access variable I, variable j, display function, and also it can access variable k, display k function, and sum function, and it can also access sum function. But the object of class A can access only I, j, and display function. So for example, like if I write, like a object, no. So if I write the object of A, if I create the object of A, so if I create the object of A, the object of A can access the object of A. If I create the object of A, so here A is the object of A. So here this object, I'll write it as AOB, so that will be better. So here AOB can access, the object of AOB can access variable I. It can access variable I. 1 second. It can access variable I. With some value. It can access variable I. It can access variable j. Can access variable I, variable j, and also it can access one function called display function. Display function belongs to class A. So object of class A can access its own members. So now let us check about object of class B. The object of class B, I will call it as object of class B. I will call it as B object. So B object is equal to new class name is B. So now the object of class B. Now the object of class B can access variable I, can access object of variable I, variable J. So these two variables I and J belongs to which class? These two variables belongs to A class. Because of inheritance, it is able to access, and also it can access its own class variable K. It can access its own class variable K, and also it can access the function of class A given by DISP, and it can access the function of its own class given by DISP K, and it can access the function called sum given by which is there in the class B. See, the B class is able to access all the members of class A as well as its own member, but A class can access only its own member. But if I make this J as private, so if I make this J as private, then that J can be accessed only within the class. So this J can be accessed only within the class. So you will get an error. You will get an error because that object J is being made private. It is not visible. It is not accessible. It can be accessible only within this class. It can be accessible only within this class. Outside this class, you cannot access them. So this is uh, this is what happens when you declare a class as a class member as private. Any doubts so far? Any doubts so far regarding this inheritance? Any doubts? Any doubts? Whether you understood this?
No.
Okay. So now you know how to create a relationship between two classes, and what will happen when the members are private, and what will happen when the members are public. So now we'll talk about one small example. The same thing, the same thing, which I will modify this. The same thing which I will the same problem. I'll modify this, and let us see how uh, this works. So I'll just add a simple printf statements. I'll just add a simple printf statements, and I'll modify this program. So after this, we'll understand that concept. First, I'll write the program so that you people will understand it better. So I'll just write it in one line. I comma j. So class A contains. So um, class A contains two variables. Class A contains uh, two variables ij and display function, which is displaying the value of I and j. Class B contains variable called k and two functions display k. So okay, display k, two functions. One is the display k function and the second one is the sum function. So now this part will change. So now what I will do means I will create objects of two classes. I'll create object of A class called AOB is equal to new. Okay, like this I will create. So values I will assign here only. Instead of assigning the values, I will assign the values here only. For explaining 10, I'll give this as 15. I'll give the value of k as 20. Okay, values I'll assign there only. So I'm creating objects of two classes, A object, B object. I've created the classes of A object, B object. After this, Um, After this, what I will do? So after this, what I will do means um, I will assign. I will start the assign. I'll start assigning. Um, I'll start assigning the objects. I'll start assigning the objects now. So this reference is there, no? So we have one superclass one. We have one superclass object, and we have one subclass object. So what I will do means I'll assign AOB is equal to BOB. Like this, I will assign. So one statement I will do. So why I am writing like this means I'll tell this later. So what I did, I created. See, first thing is we have two classes, class A, class B. Class A contained one. It contained two variables and one function, and class B contained one variable and two functions. And after that, I'm creating the objects of two classes, and I'm assigning the subclass. I'm assigning the subclass object to superclass. I'm assigning the subclass object to superclass object, and after that let us study what will happen. After that, let us study what will happen. So I'll just simplify this. I'll just write it. So okay. So now what we are going to talk about means we are going to talk about a concept called the superclass variable. The superclass variable can refer a subclass object. The superclass variable can refer a subclass object, meaning what you are going to do means a variable. See, a variable of a superclass, a reference variable of a superclass can be assigned to refer any subclasses that are derived from the superclass object. So what I did means here I created two objects. Here I created two objects called AOB and BOB, and now this is the subclass object. This is a subclass object which I'm assigning to the superclass object. So what you will think that so BOB is a subclass object. BOB is a subclass object. One second, I'll take the snapshot of this. Okay. So see what I did. I created class A. The class A contained I, J, and one function called display. Class B, it contained K, two functions, display K and some function, display K and some function. So but class B is related to A, so even class B objects can access this. Class B objects can access IJ, display and its own members. What I After that, what I did, I created objects of class A. I created object of class A called AOB. So this AOB can access I, J and disp, and I created one more object called BOB of class B. So this can access I, J, disp and its own members K, display K and sum. But what I did means I wrote a statement like this. I assigned the subclass reference to be contained in superclass object. The subclass object is being referred to superclass object. So now what you people will think, since I'm assigning BOP to AOB, this AOB can access I, J, display as well as BOB's K, display K and some function. Why? Because I'm assigning BOB to AOB. I mean, I'm assigning the subclass object to the superclass object. I'm assigning the subclass object called BOB to the superclass object. Since the subclass object BOB can access I, J, display K, and sum, even you people will think that even since I'm doing the assignment, even AOB can access IJ display and K display K sum. Whether you understood this point, till now, is it clear? Or till, yeah, till here,
Yes,
do you have
sir.
any confusion? Understood, right? Or
Yes,
any
sir.
doubt? Okay. See what I did, I created two things. One was the subclass object and the other one was the superclass object. So, and I'm assigning the subclass object to the superclass object. So after this, after this, one second. After this, see, one second. There is some issue in the system. One second. Okay. Okay, there was some, sorry for the interruption. There was some window updation was going on in the background, because of which I was experiencing some delay. Now what I did, I created the functions, two classes is created, and the associate functions are created. Now, uh, now I'm assigning the subclass object. Now as I'm assigning this is the subclass object to the superclass. So what we will think that this AOB can access its own members as well as subclass object because of this assignment, but that is not the case. So even if you are referring the subclass object to the superclass object, the superclass object can access only its own functions. For example, see, if I try to call sum, I'll get an error. So I'm assigning the subclass object to the superclass object, but the superclass object cannot access the members of subclass because sum is there in class B. It is not there in class A. Similarly, I cannot access AOB dot disp k function. I cannot access that because that function is there in class B. And again, AOB dot, one more thing, what was the one more function, k variable k. So even k is there in B class because these members are not there in super class. Even though this I'm referring the subclass object to the superclass object, the superclass object can refer only the members which it contains. For example, AOB can refer I, it can refer J, it can refer display, like this. So AOB I, AOB J, why it is not referring J? Okay. So um, okay. So what you have to what you have to understand is it can only refer its own members. So that is how so that is the concept which you people should know here. So here what I did was I created a superclass reference variable for a subclass object. So BOB here BOB was the uh, subclass object. Here the BOB was the subclass object and AOB was the A class object. So BOB was a reference to the class B and AOB was a reference to the class A. So after that, after that, I assigned BOB, which was a subclass of BOB was a subclass of class A to the superclass object AOB. So, but here you should understand that it is not
So
the
repeat,
type.
sir.
Okay. See, what I did is uh, I created. See here, here I created AOB. Wait, 1 second. I'll open this line. Okay. So what I did, you just referred to these three lines. Okay. Here, A, AOB. So what is this AOB? AOB is an object of superclass. AOB is an object of superclass. Uh, BOB is an object of subclass. So after that, I did the assignment. The superclass object contained the subclass object. So that is what I was telling. So AOB is a reference to class A. BOB is a reference to class B. After that, after that, the reference of class B was assigned to reference of class A. So what we thought, since I'm assigning the reference of class B to class A, I can access now the class AOB. Now, since the reference of class B was assigned to class A, uh, it's like now we can use AOB to access all the members, but that was not the case. This reference AOB can access only its class member. So here you should know that it is not the type of the reference variable that will matter. So uh, so here uh, see, the type of the reference variable will decide what it can access. Here, what is the type of the reference variable AOB? AOB belongs to class A. So here the type of the reference variable matters. Here AOB is equal to BOB. Here the type of this reference variable will matter. What is the type of this reference variable? The type of this reference variable is A. So it can access the members of this object of A, can access only the members of class A. So this point you should keep in mind. It is the type of the reference variable that will matter, not the type of the object to which it is referring. So here AOB is referring to B class object. Here AOB is referring to B class object, but that will not matter. It is a type of the reference variable that will matter what members it can access. So hence, even though here, here this line, in this line, what we are doing means I'm trying to I'm trying to map the B class object to the A class object. After doing this line also, this AOB cannot access the members of class B because it is a type of the reference variable that will decide its um, accessing capability. So in simple thing, even though I'm assigning the objects of class B to the objects of class A, that AOB can access only its class member. Meaning, so what is the data type of this? What is the type of this AOB? It belongs to class A. So class since it belongs to class A, AOB can access only the members of class A. Even though if you are assigning the class B object to refer to the class A object. Understood? Whether you understood this?
Yes, sir.
See the see in simple thing I'll write it once again so that see this will be used in real time scenarios. See wow, see what we did. There was some A, there was some B object. It had some features, it had some functions like display, and it had a display K and some function. So I created an object for this. I called it as AOB. I called it as BOB. So after that, I just assigned this. So by assigning this, what we thought, so this BOB is able to access, BOB was able to access three functions and AOB was accessing only one function. So if you write a line like this, now after writing this statement, like after assigning BOB to AOB, we thought that even AOB can access three functions. But Here the type of object assignment doesn't matter. What matters is the type of this AOB. The type of this AOB is A, and A can access only, the objects of A can access only one function. So even after writing this line also, AOB can access only one function, which is the member to which the class, that is the function that is available in A's class. So this is what I just wanted to convey this. Any doubts regarding this? You got this right? See, that's why this AOB cannot access. That's why this AOB cannot access some function. The AOB cannot access some function. AOB cannot access uh, display k function, um, because it is the type. It is a type of that AOB that will decide what it can access. So any doubts? Any doubts regarding this topic? Any doubts? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So okay, this is this is also one of the important thing you should know when you're talking about when we are talking about the inheritance, where the superclass variable can reference a subclass object. So after this, we'll talk about the keyword called super keyword. So so why we are using this super keyword? So um, we have studied an example. So we have studied an example where there was a class called box. For that class called box, we had three variables: height, weight, depth, and in addition to those three, we added a function to read the values of height, weight, depth. Then we created a constructor where it initialized the values of height, width, and depth with some values. When first we created the default constructor, then we created the parameterized constructor, then we added a function called volume to calculate the volume of to calculate the volume. That's all. To calculate the volume means the result of width into height into depth. So all these things we did. Like there was a class called there was a class called box. So for this class called box, it had three variables: width, height, depth. So we created a constructor called box with some initial values of width is equal to depth is equal to height with 0. Then then we created a parameterized constructor with some width, height, depth values. See, I'm just writing the pseudocode, and we were giving some values like this dot w is equal to w. See, I'm just writing the pseudocode. So this is just to understand the code. And after that, I created a volume. So this volume was performing the calculation. So this box contained this box contained a constructor to get the values of width, height, depth, and volume to calculate the result. So so that was the functionality. So and also it had variables called width, depth, height. So now this will be this looks simpler. So this we have studied now. So now what is the usage of super keyword? What is the usage of super keyword? So for example, what I will do means, so this is a class called box. Now this is a class called box. So I will create a class called box weight. I will create a class called box weight, and I will take the features of box class. How to take the features of box class means I should perform an inheritance relationship. I should perform an inheritance relationship. So now box weight extends box, meaning now I've created a box weight class. It can refer all the variables of box class, meaning it can refer width, height, weight. It can refer this constructor, and it can also refer the volume function. Means this box weight objects can access width, height, depth. It can access the constructor. It can access the volume function. So these are the functions of box class. And also it can define its own variables called weight variable, and it can define its own variable called weight variable, and it can it can add one function. It can add one function called the box weight. It can add one function called um, one function can be like the box. It can add one function called, it can add one function called box weight. It can add one constructor called, let's not be function, it can add one constructor called box weight, which is taking four parameters: width, height, sorry, width, depth, height, and this weight weight variable. So uh, by using inheritance, we are referring the three variables width, depth, height from the class box, and we have created one more class called box weight. It is using three variables from the box class, and it is adding its own variable weight, and it is calling a constructor which contains four values: width, depth, height from the box class, and weight from its own class called box weight class. So so what it is doing means, here, see, here you just look into the advantage of this inheritance. See, the advantage of inheritance is I've created this box class, which is a super class, only once, and for that I'm adding the features. I've created a super class called box. I had created a super class called box, which contained three some parameters, and I created a subclass called box weight. And for this box weight subclass, I'm adding one weight parameter, and other parameters I'm taking it from the box class. Similarly, I'll create a class called color box. So for this color box, I will take I will take the features from box super class, and I will add color feature. I'll add color feature to this color box. So this is the advantage of using inheritance. Once you created a super class, you can create a subclass by adding your own features. Like one is like adding the weight, one is like adding the color, one is like adding the cost. Like this, you can tailor the subclasses as per your specifications. So now um, now what I told means I just told what I did is I just gave the importance or the advantage of using inheritance. Now why we are talking about this? Why we are talking about this means, see, for example, for example, there was a class called see, I am using a class called box class. So this box class contained height, width, depth, and height constructor. So now
Excuse
I'm
me, sir.
creating, yes,
Sir, explain once more.
okay. So now, one second, I'll just one second, one second, I'll just explain it now. Is my voice audible? Is my voice
Yes,
audible?
sir.
Okay, okay. So, see, um, see, this is my super class. This is my super class. This is my super class. We'll call it, this is my super class called box. So it contained width, depth, height. So now I can create more specific subclasses. For example, I can create a subclass called box weight or weight box. So for this, I can use the parameters of box class only. I can use all the parameters of box class, and I can add a variable called weight to perform some computations. I can create a box called color box. I can create a class called uh, color box, which will refer to the superclass called box. So all the members of width, height, and depth can be taken from the box class, and I can add one more feature called color. Similarly, I can create a class called cost box, where the parameters like width, depth, height, I can take it from the box class and I can add cost to that. So like this by using inheritance, what I can do means one super class will be there, and for that I will keep on adding. I'll keep on creating a subclasses which will refer that super class, and it will create a more specific versions of that. It will create a more specific versions of sub classes. So now why we are talking about this super keyword. So whether this concept is clear, why we are using, what is the advantage of using inheritance? The super class will be there. For that you can create subclasses according to your needs. Whether you got this, whether this point is clear, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the advantage which we saw once? One super class will be there. For the super class, you are adding more features. You are creating a subclasses of specific versions. To be in simple terms, we will create a super class called area. I'll create a super class called area. Okay. See, I will create. This will be understood now. I'll create a super class called area. I'll create a super class called area. So this is my super class. So now for this class called super class, I'll create a subclasses. I'll create a subclasses, like I'll create a subclass called circle. It will find the area of circle. I'll create a subclass called square. It will find the area of square. I'll create a subclass called rectangle. It will find the area of rectangle. See, this is more specific thing. These subclasses are more specific thing. It is taking some attributes or some values from this superclass called area. From the superclass called area, it is taking the features, and it is adding its own features for circle. See, for circle, it might take for calculating the area of a circle. For calculating the area of a circle, it might take the radius value r from this superclass called area, and it can calculate the area of a circle. For the square, it can take the values of length and breadth from this class called area, and it can calculate the area of a square. And for the rectangle also, it can calculate, it can take the values length and breadth, and it can calculate. But in case of square, both length and breadth will be equal, so we can call it as this, yes, the square, the sides of a square. So like this, so values it is taking from a super class, and it is calculating the area as per their needs. So this is the advantage. So is this concept clear? Like, is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now why we will be using okay, so this, okay, since it is already time up, so in the next class we will see why we will be using this super class and what is the advantage of using the super class. So before winding up this class, I'll just give an example. See, for example, there is a class called box. So there is a class called box. So for this, if I write a constructor means, so if it is containing width, height, and depth means the constructor will contain width, depth, height. So again, if I create one more subclass called box weight for this superclass called box, and I'm adding a parameter. If I'm adding a parameter called weight means, again I should define a constructor which will initialize all the weights, like box weight of width, depth, height, and weight. So here the code is getting duplicated. Here the code is getting duplicated. Again I have to assign the values of width, depth, and height. So in order to avoid this step, we are using the keyword called super. The usage of super and all we will just discuss in the next class. You just know this. We have um, so when what will happen when there is a relationship between the two classes and you're calling the constructor which contains the parameter of superclass, all these things we'll talk about in the next class. So this is here, you just remember this. There is a class called box class which contains three variables, and you're calling the constructor of that box class. Again, you're creating a subclass. Here the subclass, it is adding one more parameter called weight to the already existing variables width, depth, and height. So now again you have to call a constructor with 4 parameters. So what is the disadvantage of that? And all these things we'll study it in the next class. So any doubts regarding today's class? See, that concept is very important, the reference thing. So that is used in real time and all. So in the industries and all, they will be using those um, lines. So that is very important. So any doubts regarding today's classes? Any doubts? Any doubts or anywhere you people
Yes, sir.
could not follow? Fine, right?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine. I'll stop the class then. Tomorrow we'll talk about the super keyword.